It's all bad until you get paid.
Started doing OnlyFans again, and I had an experience last night with another girl that reminded me of how I felt in those times.
Quick refresher for you guys that don't know who Lana Rhoades is. Lana Rhoades is a previous ex-corn star. And a couple years ago, she left the industry. I think it was about 2017. And since she's left, she's pretty much been on a mission to expose the industry and how bad it is for adult entertainers. So I don't have a problem with anybody who's in that industry or anybody who's had a bad experience in that industry and wants to talk about it. What I do find hypocritical, though, is how are you going to talk so bad about something and how bad it is for people's mental health and then go back to doing it? It's not like she went back to doing it and then she kind of cleaned it up and say, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad, or maybe it was my experience, not everyone else's experience. She just kind of went back to doing it and then still tried to play the victim. In the clip, she's basically stating how she was working with a girl. Instead of doing guy on girl, she's doing girl on girl. And how the girl felt similar to how she felt when she was doing the industry. But she's using fans only. So basically, if you're using fans only, you're pretty much working for yourself. So she can't blame the industry or anybody else because she's working for herself.
Yeah, so my thoughts when watching the interview were, so I've seen another interview she's done before this one, so I already knew her story, her background, her childhood, all that stuff. So I'm not taking away from any of that she had a hard childhood. I mean, I'm not going to discredit any of it. What I will say is that when she was talking, I didn't hear very much accountability. So she was talking about, for example, how when she was about 16 or 17, her dad signed off on a paper to allow her to work for this place called Tilted Kilt. She didn't say it in this interview, but she said it in the previous one. It's a place that's like Hooters. And I get that. So she was saying that she made it seem as if it was her dad's fault.
Working at like a restaurant similar to Hooters when I was 17. And it's not that I don't like know my dad at all. I just don't spend a lot of time with him. But he like signed the paper so that I could work there because it's like a restaurant where you have to wear like a sexy outfit and I wasn't even 18.
But something tells me she asked her dad, maybe pushed her dad to let her work at that place. As a 16-year-old, there's many other restaurants you can work at. So why did she choose that one specifically? Was that the only one in her area? I doubt it.
Not only that, but in the interview, she talks about how it was an escalation, how she went from there. Then she went to become a stripper, and then she went to become a corn star.
Yeah.
At 18, I left that job and I went straight to becoming a dancer at a club. And then after that, it was...
I was getting there next. That's exactly it. Like, okay, I understand if maybe you're a 16-year-old girl and your brain's not fully developed and you decide, oh, that looks cool, I'll go do that. You do it. Your dad signs off, which I would never do for my daughter. So I'm not saying that
ever.
So I'm not
in life or in another life
ever. So I'm not saying that he has no accountability in the situation. But after that, you turn 18, and the first thing you do is what? Choose to go and dance.
And then you made another choice.
So exactly. So I mean, again, while I don't want to sound insensitive or discredit her childhood as playing some role in her choices, they're still her choices at the end of the day. I didn't hear her say she was trafficked, thank God. So if that's not the case and she wasn't forced to do it.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is if this industry is so evil in that you really don't like it and you don't like how it portrays women, which is fine, that's her opinion, then why are you doing fans only and then you're doing similar content on the same, like, on a similar site?
Yeah, I see. This is the thing, too. My first thought is it's tough for her to get a regular job right now for two reasons. One, because once you have done that type of work, a lot of places don't really want to hire you. And number two, she probably is used to a certain lifestyle now that she can't afford with the type of work that she can get. Even though she said she wasn't making much as a corn star, she's done other things since then to make more money. So that's my guess as to why she went to fans only. But
here's the thing, right? So if you really hated it, right? So if I had a job I really hated, but I made enough money doing something else, I would never go back to that job. Not only that, but in the time that she's been away from the industry, she's had more than enough time to build up a skill or hire someone because she has money. Because she actually made a social media post where she stated that she made more money, I think, modeling than she ever did in the industry. So she doesn't have to be on Fans Only if she doesn't want to be. It's that she wants to be on it because it's easy money to her. She's already done it before, so she knows how it works, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but don't play the victim.
Yeah, no, listen, again, and I'm not trying to defend her. I'm just trying to, you bring a point up, I'm going to say, okay, look. For her, because again, I watched the previous interview too.
Yeah.
She did it with, oh gosh, it's another model. Something.
She another
no,
China star or?
No, she's an actual like runway model or something. Oh man, I don't remember her name. But anyways, I think that for her, she can control what she does with Fans Only. She can control who she works with. She can control the type of scene she does. And for what I understand, she might just be doing, like you said, girl stuff. I don't know if I said it on YouTube. She's only doing, she's not filming with male talent. So I think that's why she's doing it. But I get your point. Like, if you are so against the industry, that's still part of the industry.
It is. And then not only that, but she made the girl feel the same thing that she felt, even though it wasn't a guy involved.
Right. Well, I don't know what they were doing in that scene. Because she said the girl felt, maybe the girl was green. I don't know. Well,
all I'm saying, she's pretty much doing the same thing, except now she's the manager.
I mean, listen, I agree with you to an extent, but I will say that I understand where she's coming from. That in the past, she would show up on set. She claimed she didn't know who the talent was, but I've seen other like interviews of people in her industry that say that
you have to sign off on the talent, and then you have a no list, and then you have a list of people that you can work with, and then I think there's another option where it's like you don't care.
So maybe she was maybe that goes into her story. She's saying that she was so young or new to industry because she said she only did it for a short period of time. She maybe didn't know that, so she was forced in a way, or she ended up in situations where she was working with talent she didn't want to, which traumatized her. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, fair. I'm not gonna fire on that. That's fair fine. Enough. But it's just often these situations like her and Mia Khalifa, where they'll go on this giant tirade and they'll say all this negative stuff, and then they turn around and do the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So, to me, it just boils down to accountability. If you didn't like doing it, perfectly fine. Now you have a way to get out, but you still don't want to take the way out. So what is it going to be? You like it or you don't like it? You have a choice. It's not like she does not have a choice. And I hate when people do this because there are people that are actually suffered from that industry that don't like it, and you're making everybody lose credibility. Well, I mean, you're making yourself lose. I'm not going to say you're making everyone lose credibility. You're just worsening their fight, the people that are actually going through stuff like that, because you lost credibility.
And part of the interview she mentioned, or I think Mike mentioned, that the average life expectancy of a person from her industry, a woman, is 37 years old.
That's sad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'll say that I'm happy that it seems as though she's better and she's skirted that fate that a lot of her counterparts met. So I'm happy to see that. Now, as far as what she's doing with her life now, I mean, look, I'm not gonna judge her, do whatever, but I don't know. Again, like you said, accountability is the one thing I did not hear in this interview, which I would like to hear.
At all, it did not exist.
There was no accountability.
Yeah, ultimately, I'm gonna say she made a bad decision. If you have a lot of problems, or if you're even mentally disturbed, please get help. But don't complain and cry about the internet and then turn back and do the same thing. To me, she's just a hypocrite. Like, I don't. It's hard for me to take her serious. It's hard for me to even take her story serious because she's not taking accountability in anything. So I don't know how much of her story is fabricated or going in one direction. So yeah, ultimately I'm going to say it's a bad decision.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a bad decision for her to go on this tour talking about how bad the industry is. Her doing Fans Only, whatever. But her going out and speaking against the industry while still doing that, and not taking accountability, I would say bad decision. Yeah, bad decision.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, if you think she made a good decision, leave a like, leave a comment. If you think she made a bad decision, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, guys. Decision makers, we're out.